So this morning I'm going to talk a little bit about something that's called the universal default resting state. And what that means is universal, it means it's all of us. Right? Resting state means it's happening when we're trying to not focus on something. So when our mind is just doing its thing. And so what happens if we're really focused on something, like trying to figure out the lines of an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. Our mind is focused on that. But when we're driving or when somebody's talking and our mind is just doing its thing, we go into this universal default resting state. And there's lots of different things that happen, but there's 4 pretty similar things that happen for most of us. And I'm going to talk a little bit about those. So one is that we judge by default. All of us. Not our fault, you're not unique, nothing's wrong with you, but we judge. We judge, it's a survival skill that has evolved for us. We judge if you're safe, if we're alike, if we could work together, if I want to be your friend, if I want you to stay away from you, if I could do it better, if you can do it better than me. We're judging all of the time. So that's playing in here. We group people together, so kind of this like tribal mind, like who are my people? I want to be like them, or I want to be with them. Are you part of my tribe? Where do you live? Where do I live? What socioeconomic class are you in? Where am I in? Who's your friend group? What music do you like? And we kind of group based on those things. We time travel. We go into the past and we rehash all sorts of thoughts or things we wish we would have done differently. And we feel all the emotions that come with those things. So we think about a situation that maybe made us angry, and we feel angry again. We start to get frustrated again. We create all that. Or we go into the future. So we think about what could happen, what might happen, what should happen, what should I say, and we get all those anticipatory emotions that go along with that as well. Anxiety and all of the other things. So there's lots of things that we do. And there's this other process called self-referential processing, which will take more than 15 minutes, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but essentially it's about building the sense of self, which at first glance sounds really good, right? Except that sense of self becomes so rigid that change becomes hard. So I'm not the kind of person who does that, who tries this thing, who takes those adventures, who takes those chances. And when our mind is just thinking, when we think it's doing nothing, it's doing all of these things. And then we try to calm down and get into a mindful, focused state. And maybe you've experienced this, but then your mind travels for like a half a second. There, and then in the future, and then judging, and then like, what's wrong with me? I can't do this. I knew I wasn't meant for money. Anybody ever have that experience? I hear it all the time. And people say, I tried it. It just doesn't work. And so what I like to remind us,
so you want to find out if you're going to go Anthony,
if you are on Zoom, will you make sure that you are muted, please? Thank you so much. And so what we do is, in mindfulness work, is that we, first of all, just accept our own limitation. That is the state of being human. Mindfulness practice will never result in us just zenfully levitating off to the rest of our day. What mindfulness is coming in to the present moment on purpose, non-judgmentally. It's everything opposite that our brain does. And so our work in mindfulness practice, whether you're doing it through walking, through deep breath, through meditation, through loud music that you're digging in your earbuds, whatever it is, the work is to keep bringing your mind back to the present moment. Whether it's hard, whether it's painful, whether it's beautiful and wonderful, our work is just to know, oh, my brain is doing what a human brain does. I've traveled. I'm going to bring it back to this moment. That's it. That's our work. Over and over and over again, is to just continue to bring our brain back. And to do it in a little bit of a, maybe even a self-compassionate way, where we go, okay, that's normal, I'm gonna come back. And that's it, that's gonna work. So that's what we're gonna do today. So what I encourage you to do, you can sit, you can lie, you can stand, you can do whatever you wanna do. I'm gonna be over here where I can see the screen and also see everyone here. I'm gonna have my phone so I keep us on time. And with mindfulness, what often happens is the first thing people say is what? Close your eyes, right? You don't have to do that. That's kind of an old way of thinking about it. If it makes you feel great and allows you to drop into the moment, beautiful. But trauma-informed mindfulness reminds us that for some of us, closing our eyes doesn't feel very scary. And immediately we get out of the present, right? So do what feels right for you. Do with what your body you want to do and allows you to be present and be here. So if you'd like to, you can close your eyes. And if not, just take a soft gaze. Just land in this moment. You've been at this conference. It's been busy. There's been a lot happening, a lot of connections, a lot of information, a lot of amazing people doing such great work throughout the living. If you're back home on Zoom, holding down these amazing organizations, you've been busy. And so right now, just find yourself here, wiggle your toes, roll your shoulders. Find yourself here in this room. You'll find your breath as you're doing this exploration this morning. There's no need to change it or adjust it just yet. Simply notice it. Is the breathing shallow? Is it deep? Is it through your nose or your mouth? Where do you feel the breath? In your chest, in your belly, in your back. And you're going to start to move into a posture that is purposeful and intentional. And you can modify it for your body in whatever way works for you. What I want you to do is just find both feet on the floor and try to find a balance in those. Maybe rocking forward and back and toes and heels, the side and maybe arch, and find a place that's centered, that's grounded. If you're sitting, do that same work with the bottom, rocking side to side, forward and back, finding that center point. And letting our body know we're doing something purpose, giving it its attention to this moment. You might find a strength in your back and a softness in your belly and a lift in your chest while your shoulders come down and in your sockets. We call this an attentive posture, not rigid, not so soft, right in between. You find the crown of your head lifts. The jaw softens, and space between your eyebrows softens. And as you reach this point, bring your breath in on purpose. Inhaling through your nose. And slowly exhaling through your lips like you're breathing through a straw. And as you sit in this, observe your mind. Maybe it's saying things like, oh, this feels so good. Maybe it's saying things like, oh, this feels so stupid. I knew I shouldn't come. This isn't my kind of thing. I don't have time for this. And all we have to do in the practice is just simply observe. Observe our brain in discomfort. And we don't have to believe those thoughts. We're just observing and then returning to our practice of breathing. That's our work. And maybe your beautiful, busy brain is already thinking about what needs to be done on the way home, what didn't happen yesterday. Maybe you're rehashing a scenario, and your whole job right now is just to notice. Notice when our brain is doing its human thing, and then bring it back to your breath and to your posture. All sensations in your body, pain or discomfort. Again, you just notice. And bring our practice to our forefront. Breathing in, breathing out. And then give your brain an anchor point where you're saying to yourself, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. And then hear people talking, music playing, and just notice it. It's not an interruption of our practice. We're going to observe our thoughts about it. And then you bring yourselves back. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathe. And know that you breathe. close our practice, just notice anything that's present in your heart, in your mind. Final deep breath together from all around Oregon, virtually and in person, inhaling through the nose, exhaling and slowly opening your eyes, opening the gaze back together. Thank you, Zoom. Thank you, friends. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. Thank you to you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us.